For all my bleeding heart liberal friends and virtue signalers, I would like to tell you a little truth about the outrage over what the United States is doing with immigration. First, let's be clear. It is no surprise that the USA plans to deport up to 20 million people. That is what that guy ran on, and that is what a majority of Americans voted for, including many Mexican Americans. Now here's something you might not realize. Everyone in the United States knows their immigration status. They know whether they are there legally or illegally. Some entered the country based on false promises from third-party fixers who took their money. Others applied for asylum through an app, knowing that the policy might later be reversed. Even in Latin America, people are taught a simple truth. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That means from the day he came down that escalator, everyone understood the risks of being undocumented in America. Let's talk about Mexico, the country many are leaving behind. Do you know how hard it is to be an outsider there? If you're lucky, you might get a 6-month visitor visa, but it is not guaranteed. After those 180 days, you have to leave and hope to come back depending on current diplomatic relations. And if you overstay, you are fined when you leave. If you want to live in Mexico legally, there are two main paths. First, you apply for a temporary residency visa at a Mexican consulate in the United States. You will need a valid passport, a completed application, a passport photo, and solid proof of financial stability. Usually this means showing at least $4,200 per month in income over the last 6 to 12 months, or about $70,000 in savings. You will need to show bank statements, maybe attend an interview, and pay fees. Second, once you arrive in Mexico, you must visit the local immigration office within 30 days to exchange that visa for a resident card. You will need your passport, your visa, a short letter explaining your plans, proof of a Mexican address such as a lease or utility bill, photos, and another fee of around $200 to $300. Then you complete biometrics and wait for your card to arrive. As for citizenship, unless you are very wealthy, it is nearly impossible. Now let's look at how Mexico treats migrants from its southern neighbors. Venezuelans must apply for a visa before traveling to Mexico. They must prove about $4,000 in monthly income or equivalent savings, and provide evidence of ties to their home country. In Venezuela, where the average income is around $200 a month, that requirement is 20 times what most people earn. Legal migration is simply out of reach for the poor. Colombians can visit Mexico without a visa for up to 180 days, but for residency they must meet the same financial standards. $4,200 a month or $70,000 in savings, with average wages around $1,000 a month. Those requirements are still 4 times the typical income. Salvadorans generally need a visa too, unless they already have a US visa or green card. But again, they must show the same financial solvency. With an average income of about $500 a month, meeting that $4,200 requirement means proving 8 times their normal pay. Cubans also face strict entry rules. They must get a visa through the Mexican embassy, show $4,200 in monthly income, and provide proof they can return home. Considering most Cubans earn around $16 to $18 a month, those financial requirements are more than 200 times their actual income. It is effectively impossible. So before you get outraged that the United States is enforcing its immigration laws, take a closer look at how other nations, including Mexico, handle immigration. The United States is doing what every sovereign country does, protecting its borders and its citizens, including Mexican Americans and other immigrants who followed the law to become citizens. Here in Mexico, law enforcement must often travel in large groups, wearing masks and carrying heavy weapons just to maintain order. It is not unusual to see 6 or 8 armed officers to a truck. That is everyday life, not a crackdown. This photo, taken at a recent Mexican Independence Day festival, shows an officer protecting the public, a normal sight in a peaceful celebration. I am not saying this to criticize Mexico. I chose to live here. I love this country. But if you truly care about justice and fairness, you should at least be informed before accusing the United States of being cruel to illegal immigrants. So instead of being a bleeding heart liberal for the wrong side of right and wrong, why not show some compassion and support for the people who put their lives on the line every day to keep Americans and non-citizens safe from harm?